Thanks, Matthew.
The whole way around, then come back.
Thank you.
Is that on?
Well,
Now it's on.
probably not necessary. Memorandum for Bob Rowland, Acting Director, Central Intelligence Agency, interrogation of suspected Sylvanian operatives. The agency's stated priority is the reacquisition and demobilization, deconcatenation, detention, and debriefing of the stated targets: Marks Groucho, Marks Chico, Marks Harpo. Appended to Council's response to agency's request is agency's report on the previous series of interrogations, conducted 13 April to 18 April, 72nd year of Firefly. You indicated that coffin-style detention chambers would be used in all phases of the suspect's detention. Use of coffin detention chambers, also known as bucket or can chambers, has been determined most effective in the case of detainees showing marked proclivities toward prevarications while under interrogation, and in the case of suspected double operatives and the irretrievably deceased. You indicated orally that all such standards applied in the present series of interrogations, resulting in Council's approval of the recommendation RE coffin detention chambers. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he no smoke, so he no have the coffin, but you go right ahead, he don't mind. The coffin detention chamber under section 2340A of Title 18 United States of Freedonia Code is under no circumstances to be used punitively. Detainees are to be removed and debriefed at irregular intervals to prevent the risk of possible contamination or liberation. Sessions are to be scheduled in advance and kept to an absolute minimum to prevent the unnecessary risk of exposure and transportation. Council advised that exposure can lead to deterioration of information and detainee, and that invasion by bugs or worms rises in direct proportion to the number of sessions requested in the series. Council further advised that certain recreational activities are absolutely forbidden in close proximity to coffin detention chambers to protect against contamination, deterioration, and liberation. You indicated that detainees were questioned RE bugs and searched prior to the series, and that all personnel were required to forego the game of pinochle during the period of detention. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he got a peanuts. All the time he got a peanuts. That's what you want, but that's not what you want, unless that's what you want. And if that's what you want, why you say nothing? All the time you say nothing. He asks you something, you say nothing. Detainee Marks Harpo questioned separately and simultaneously, removed administrator's headgear, and attempted to set fire to it. No communication between detainees in contravention of Protocol Garbo may be allowed to take place while the detainee is secured in the chamber. All chambers must be kept at a minimum tenebrosity level of 99.99% shadow, and an absolute quietus is strongly advised. You indicated orally that detainees in the present series repeatedly contravened the protocol, possibly utilizing a code unknown to you. Council has appended the reported contraventions to the present report. In the order you reported, they occurred during the detention period. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he no have the cold. It's just sniffles. Detainee Marks Harpo produced State Department 11-536-912 polka dot handkerchief, possibly weaponized, smuggled into detention site by unknown source, pending investigation. Measurements of chambers to be used in this series and in all such should run as follows, as per CIA benchmarks: no more than 4 feet wide, no more than 5 feet 4 inches long, no more than 2.5 feet abreast. Detainee Marks Groucho reports that he would give one hand and at least half a foot abreast, depending on the girl and depending on how cold the tape measure was. These chambers are set into pneumatic apparatus and should be set on a maximum 85 degree, minimum 82 degree from plumb incline for maximum effectiveness to prevent detainees from reclining fully and or comfortably. Bracketed sprockets allow for manipulation of the chamber after the detainee has been administered. Detainee Marks Groucho reports that he could go for a sleeper cell right now. He hasn't slept a wink. Hell, he doesn't even know wink. And besides, he doesn't go for men. It looks like administrator doesn't either. Maybe administrator could start, or maybe administrator could just go and forget all about the men. Evidence suggests that pressure on the heel while held in this position causes chronic fulgurant pain in the detainee when so held for the recommended 24 out of 28 hours. Musculature of the leg must be kept tensed in this position to relieve the pressure on the calcaneus, reducing the likelihood of the contravention of auxiliary protocols and retarding decomposition and atrophy. Detainee Marks Harpo, despite reprisal, repeatedly attempted to effect forced transport by depositing his right femoral appendage into any and all extended grasping devices. Protocol for administering detainees is as follows. Detainees are anesthetized, hooded, blinkered, and interceptors are placed over the ears. Lorazepam, a habit-forming amnesic sedative, is usually indicated. When withdrawn, 89% of subjects experience mild to severe insomnia. Detainees are then entered into the chamber using the reel, a conveyor that delivers the reclining detainee into the chamber without risk of contravention of protocol garbo. Detainees are thus rendered in optimum state fully awake sleep. It has been found that the protocol is 15% more effective when the detainee has been anesthetized prior to sealing the chamber. Under Section 2340A of Title 18 of the United States of Freedonia Code, detainees may be held so immobilized for as much as 86% of time under detention, or 24 out of 28 hours, with an upper limit of 28 out of 28 hours, provided detainees are given inadequate or non-existent nutriment, a median ambient temperature of 55 degrees Fahrenheit is maintained, and all such periods occur consecutively. Detainee Mark Groucho reports that he could go 29 out of 28 hours if you gave him a head start and a broken clock. Oh, and while you're at it, he wants to see his lawyer. More than that, though, he wants to see the Cubs win one. More than that, he wants to see his wife again. More than that, he wants to see your wife again. You indicated that the protocol would be followed at the upper limit of Section 2340A of Title 18 USF Code. Council recommended that for extended periods under this protocol, intervals of physical activity are necessary to prevent livor mortis, if the detainee is not to be later cast in wax or dehydrated and preserved for the harvesting of relics. Council recommended musical performance in light of the particular talents of the detainees. Thank you.